Hey, welcome. This is your boy, Dr. Christopher J. Childs. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I apologize if you were watching this on Facebook. I'm trying out different technologies. So usually I can have Facebook going in the background, but I'm trying out something different today. We may go back to Facebook tomorrow. It totally depends upon the wave. If you all are seeing you're live on the chat, it's a chat feature now at the bottom of the page. You should be able to just chat as a guest. It may ask you to do the username, but trying to make it intuitive. Like yesterday, we did the same thing. Everybody had to go out to Facebook, and then you had to make sure your Facebook logged in, work, all that stuff. So trying something new. If we don't like it, guess what? We don't gotta do it this way. The cool thing about all of this, we're just trying stuff out. Like I'm telling teachers online, don't be afraid to try stuff out. That's what I'm telling teachers. Don't be afraid. So I'm telling you all the same thing. So if you see me looking around with a bunch of eyes, I got the camcorder in front of me. I got an iPad over here running it. I got my iPad over here running with some notes on it. I'm on social media nonstop. So if you see me looking around, I'm not cross-eyed. Like I'm just doing what I do best, monitoring all the different feeds that I got going. But if you're in the chat, welcome to the game. If you're not even in the chat, and you can just literally say hey in the chat just for the heck of it. Let's just see how it works, man. Like I got some. This is if you know how I roll, you know I got something up my sleeve, and everybody's always asking what's next. I'm showing you what's next. Like I'm showing you. I'm not showing you everything. I'm showing you pieces of it. So today, the goal of this, oh my gosh, I hate lectures. Like I don't think you all understand. I hate lectures. So with that being said, I need you all to interact and engage. I'm gonna work on bringing a guest on for one of the episodes coming up, like another math educator, and let he or she expound upon some of the things that they're doing. And we may do like I already got the podcast, so check it out, my Aspiring Educators podcast. But we may do like a back and forth, like a co-teach piece or something. So I don't want it to be a lecture. As you all are seeing also at the very bottom of the web page, I'm going to archive them. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I want these like to go on forever, we're gonna get back to like business as usual. So it won't be like going on forever. But hey, I just saw somebody excited to billion. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the podcast. Hey, in the chat now, the cool thing since I'm not on Facebook, I can monitor the chat quicker. So with that being said, as you all put stuff in the chat, you have questions you can ask. Also, right after this, I do the Ask a Child show. Some people have submitted questions. The cool thing about it, I want to call you all, but in the same token, if I don't call you all, I got questions galore. So if I call you, great. If not, we'll just answer questions and just have some fun on the social media thing. And also for the ones that are in the chat piece, just because you can watch this without typing anything in chat. So literally, it could be people watching this feed, but they're not even in like the chat, which is cool. Like, so everybody keep asking how many people watching this stuff. I don't know. I don't care if it's one person, two people. Like my goal is whoever want to watch it. As you all know, my statements and opinions are my own. I represent a lot of entities in a lot of different ways. With that being said, I have to do a little, protecting myself with it. I'm trying to get my clicker out. I don't want to keep reaching forward to click the mouse. This is an informal laid back setting. This is not your traditional PD where we have to do 5 questions and all. Look, we're going to have fun. We're going to engage in math and just expound upon some of my thoughts. I got an email feedback from someone from yesterday. It like resonated with them. That's cool. Like send me feedback. Let me know this is working. All right. So to start off every episode with these, I start off with a goal. The reason being is I want to translate what I'm doing here to what should be actually happening in classroom. So when we talk about a learning goal, I want goals for what we're doing. The reason we do the goals in the beginning, I want you all to know, all right, this is what he's doing. This is why he's doing it. This is what I'm going to get out of it. It's 2 purposes. A, at the end, we can do some self-assessment. Did I accomplish that? But then also, you all can say, all right, this ain't what I'm looking for, which is cool. Or you may say, all right, I want to do something different. That's cool. So to me, that learning goal, if people would look at your learning goal and leave, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not forcing you to stay and listen to me, but it'd be cool if you did. All right. So what we're doing, focusing on math tools. How do you effectively use math tools? But also we want to really look at a definition of what are math tools. What are math tools? As I said, I'm going back and forth. I got some stuff on the iPad I want to hit on. Sometimes if you've ever heard me speak, I always just go off the cuff. The great thing about it is natural, it's involving. The bad thing about it is sometimes I'm like, man, I want to say ... and I didn't get to say it. So I do got a couple things I want to make sure I hit on. But again, feel free to jump into the chat. I know people are going to be texting me, tweeting me, all that good stuff. That's what I do. All right. So now, first of all, let's get this whole thing of tools versus manipulatives. And with these chats, these are just to get the like a foundational piece. I'm not going in depth. It's only 30 minutes at the point, but to get you thinking. And I'm not going to take, a lot of times we take stuff for granted. Oh, they know this or they know this. I'm going from the lens of, hey, I got a variety of teachers watching this. I got some brand new teachers. I got some veterans. I got some OGs in the game. And when we say OGs, look it up. It's not a bad thing. It's just a cool term to say. But with that being said, I don't take anything for granted when it comes to defining terms. The reason being, as I travel, everywhere I go, people have different, like a lot of people have different definitions, like rigor. If I say, what is rigor? Put it in the chat. We'll get a million different definitions of what is rigor. So with that being said, what I do is lay the foundation. This is how I'm defining it. This is the lens, and this is where we're going to go. So here we go. We got tools and manipulatives, all right? So if you're in the boxing, you got Muhammad Ali, you got George Frazier, the Rumble in the Jungle, like one of the biggest fights ever. With this, I just put this image in to showcase a lot of people look at them, hey, they're different. They're one and the same in a sense, and they got to work together. When I'm talking about math tools, though, that is referring to any object, picture, or drawing that represents the concept or the relationship for that concept to be imposed. So that can be objects, it can be drawn. When I say tools, it's a lot of different things. I'm going to show you some examples, okay? So tools, think about that as the bigger picture of what we're talking about when we just say math tools. Now, when I get more specific, I'm going to go into manipulatives. Oh, man, y'all forgot to remind me. Every classroom should have manipulative kits. I would get up, but I'm being lazy right now. But outside my recording studio office space, I have like all these manipulatives. I was supposed to move them here. I haven't. But and they're like boxes and boxes of manipulatives. Manipulatives are those physical objects that students can touch and feel. And they can be your traditional ones made from math, which are like connecting cues, base 10 blocks. We'll talk about those in a couple moments. Or they could be for other purposes. It can be buttons or can be a manipulative. You can make index cards if it's manipulative. It's physical. What else? See, the cool thing, we clean up your office, is it's in perfect order. The bad thing, all the stuff you had laying around is kind of gone. Oh, well. Those are some of your manipulatives. We're going to discuss later technology manipulatives. You're going to find out why I really don't care for virtual manipulatives. You'll find out why, but that's just me. I'm not a fan of virtual manipulatives. So now, tools are pretty much everything over encompassing. So when we think about tools and manipulatives, they have to work together, right? In tandem. A lot of times we take away tools too early and we realize, and we don't really get to assess what students know. Students are going to always have tools at some level. This is 2020 when we're recording this video. Students will always, say it with me, students will always have tools. They may not be carrying around manipulatives with them, but they're always going to have tools. So our job when we're using mathematics lessons, how do we effectively engage them? When I come into a classroom environment, the first thing I literally look around, I don't care if it's pre-K to AP Calculus. I look around the room, I look at the walls, I look at imagery. That's one of the big things. I look at imagery to see what is on the walls, what representations are they showing. The second thing that I look at is where are the math tools? And that's the first. I look at, all right, obviously if it's AP Calculus, am I seeing calculators? Am I possibly seeing computers? Am I seeing iPads? If I'm in an elementary environment, I'm looking for manipulatives, period. When I go into a class, typically what I see, I'm going to be honest, and a lot of people get mad at me. I'm looking around like I'm in the classroom. I go in the classroom, they're like, Chris, we got manipulatives. I'm like, cool, where are they at? They have boxes and boxes of manipulatives, and guess what? It's a bunch of stuff on top of them, and the manipulatives collecting dust. So it does you no good to have them and don't use them. Like, I know I was working with the school. It was an advanced school. And when I say advanced, it was considered a gifted school. it was shunned upon if kids use manipulatives. I was like, for real? Like, it was, oh no, we got to do it in our head. I'm like, these are tools. Like, what we have to do is get out of this mindset. If students use a tool, they're like, they can't do math or something. It's a tool. It's a manipulative. And my favorite manipulative tool are these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These, all right, so true story. I give you stories all the time. My daughter's teacher sends home activities for her to do. She's in pre-K. One of the activities is, some number sense activities. And on the paper, they always write, please don't use your fingers. I scratch it out. She will be using her fingers. The reason, this is a tool, this is a human, God created tool that we have. And I'm looking down at my toes. So it's a reason you have 10 fingers and 10 toes. It's a reason. So my thing is, how do we utilize that a lot of people don't have, students may not have counters. There's nothing wrong with counting the fingers. There's nothing wrong with counting fingers on the desk. I see a lot of times students down here, hey, I see them to add something, they don't. I say, show me your hands. You got to make that thing invisible. So let's stop shunning people for using fingers. Like, I have a PhD in mathematics. I work with some of the best and brightest leaders in the country. Guess what? I still go on my fingers. So if I do it, and I'm older than obviously elementary kids and high school and middle school kids, why can't they use their fingers? So start allowing students to use mathematical tools, especially their fingers, and then have things available in the classroom setting. Am I going to say this? Yes, I'm touching my face. It's my face. I'm clean. And I'm in quarantine. I know some people watching the video, oh my God, it touched his face. But I'm going to say this. I would rather a teacher, like when you think about making purchase decisions, have mathematical tools and great tasks to go align with it than somebody have a bunch of curriculum pages and worksheet pages. For what we spend on worksheet pages, we can actually just spend it on we can spend it on manipulatives and get more bang for our buck. Because if I got a couple good tasks, I got some good manipulatives, bam, I got a good lesson. But if I got a bunch of, worksheet pages, what's it gonna do for me? And I don't have no manipulatives to help the students with. All right, so what does that mean? Here are some examples of manipulatives and tools. In the picture, you see the geo board. True story. I don't know the specific school district. I know of a district. I won't say the name. They actually had geo boards in a closet. They were doing summer cleaning. They found the geo boards in the closet. They did not know what they were for because the rubber bands were missing. They threw out all the geo boards. They literally saw these geo boards, did not know what they were. They didn't have rubber bands on. They threw them all away. True story. So that's the geo boards. You have connecting cubes. You have snap cubes. You also have clocks. You have base 10 blocks. You have pattern blocks. Different things that students can use. What I recommend doing, I do have one thing in my office ready. I got this from the Kentucky Center for Mathematics. So quick shout out to Kentucky Center for Mathematics. What you can do is, I should have did this today. All right, I didn't prepare. I prepared, but I think of stuff on the fly. You can put manipulatives in a little bin like this. You get this from this is quality from Kentucky, but you get like cheap plastic one, put manipulatives in, boom. I'm putting it boom, but it's below the camera. You put on the student's desk, that's where they have their own little manipulative kits. They sell manipulative kits like for each individual student. You can get some plastic bags, but that way, as students are working on the task, boom, they can go into their manipulative kit. It's the same thing with when students have graphing calculators, you let them get graphing calculators, have manipulative kits at the desk for the students, or if it's a group that they can work on and choose from. That's a free one. That's a free. All right. Also, Texas Instruments. That's a calculator. Y'all, everybody familiar with graphing calculators. I'm not even going with graphing calculators. Not dang. I got a whole story on graphing calculators. In the middle of the page, the fan favorite, phones. I use iPhone, so no offense to you Android users, but iPhone has been around and gonna be around. That's just my thing. This is a tool though. This is essentially a supercomputer. I remember in middle school, my teacher used to say, Chris, I was a calculator king. Y'all answer. He was like, Chris, you won't always have a calculator. I like, you right, Doc. Guess what? I got a supercomputer. So my thing is, I come back to that. I'm gonna give you my thing is, how do we harness the power of this supercomputer that we have? It's not about just can I get an answer, but how do we harness the power within this supercomputer? In the bottom of the screen, you got GeoGebra. If you're looking for some dynamic software, GeoGebra is good. It's tried and true, and it's free. It's been around for a while. Right now, I don't endorse anybody's products, and I rarely talk about stuff out loud. But Desmos is making a lot of noise and a lot of good noise in regards to the software. It's similar to GeoGebra, but a little bit better, in my opinion. Don't like spam me or flag me, but I think it's a little bit better. And I've seen some of the tasks that they're actually doing on the computer. They're still developing. So it's not like, hey, this is the iPhone 7 version, but it's getting there. But the fact that it's a free graphing calculator, it can pretty much do everything you want it to do. I use Desmos a lot. I use the Desmos graphing calculator a lot. I've been looking at the lessons. But as far as technology, is where it needs to be. And it's getting better. And my thing is, those graphing calculators are over 100. I remember when I got my first graphing calculator, it was over $100. And back then, $100 was, it's kind of dumb to say $100 was $100, but y'all know what I mean. It was a lot of money. If I would have had a free graphing calculator, man, because I'm gonna be honest, I was able to get the calculator. Like, my parents were tight. If I needed academic stuff, I got it. If I need some Jordans, I never got them. Academic stuff, they got them. But my friends, some of them, they parents like, you're not getting that calculator. They used to borrow my calculators. I let them borrow my old ones. I know a kid, right? I don't even know his name. I know his dad. I let him borrow. The dad was like, hey, Chris, this was after I graduated, etc. He like, you got a graphic calculator? My kid in high school, I don't got one. Boom, let him borrow my graphic calculator. I haven't seen my graphic calculator in like 15 years, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to text him and ask him what my graphic. After this, I'm going to text him and ask him what my graphic calculator is. I know who it is. But that just shows you the cost of things. And with Desmos being free, like, I rock with Desmos. Put it out there. I rock with them. And then lastly, I put some buttons, because when we think about manipulatives, it doesn't have to be the formal sense. Now, there are some dumb things that I see going around. I'm going to put it out there. Play-Doh, like, I've seen people do Play-Doh with fractions and partition it. That junk don't work. Like, we still want to be accurate and attend to precision. Play-Doh, no, don't do Play-Doh. I've seen people use food and try to partition it for fractions. Don't get it twisted. It's fun. It's cute. But we got to go some kind of precision. So at least when using manipulatives, they're rigid, and we can really do some different and cool operations. But I get the cool stuff, but that junk don't really work. It don't really work. Yeah, it don't really work. Anyways, all right. So now we're looking at math tools and manipulatives. Now I want to think about this three pieces. Everybody's seen this before: concrete, representational, abstract. This is the bread and butter of all of what we're trying to get you to understand. Why does this matter? I'm going to go, you can look up the formal way of this modeling sequence, but what I'm trying to do is simplify things on this show, and we go deeper if y'all want to offline. We go real deep offline. We go into the research if you want to go offline, to the 60s, etc. So with this particular one, I want you to think about students. Just think about students. Now, I keep touching my face. My face itching. I'm just honest. With this, students, when they're born, like not newborns, but a couple months old, and they start to move around, we give them a bunch of blocks and stuff to play with. They get first introduced to concrete objects at that phase. So it's important when they get to classrooms, we continue to build that. That's why I like physical objects and not virtual objects. There's one exception for virtual manipulatives, I'll tell you in a moment. So that's why we want the physical manipulatives for students, because they're used to playing with them. Then we transition. Think about a kid. They start off with the manipulatives, the building block. Everybody had building blocks growing up. I know Legos was hot. Now these fancy Legos are different. Had building blocks. Then you transfer, how do we draw pictures? Remember, when students learn to write and stuff, it says draw a picture. So we take them from that physical stage to drawing a picture, and then we get to the actual abstract stage where they're actually writing out the formulas or writing out the numbers, etc. This sequence is important, but what I want you all to understand, don't make it so rigid. Like some people like, we're going to do this first, we're going to do this second, we're going to do this. It's all based upon students. Now, with the caveat, I believe every student should understand each bucket though. So just because a student, Chris, my kindergartners came in at the abstract stage, so we didn't use base 10 blocks manipulatives. No, because they still need those experiences, because later, guess what? They may need to use manipulatives and some physical objects. They need to get that experience. So, but I'm saying if they're at the abstract phase, I don't force them like, you're going to do concrete, but I'm going to expose them to concrete and representational Why? I want my student to be we talk about this full body of knowledge. I want to fully develop my students, not just with abstract, but also looking at concrete and looking at representational pieces also. So now, and yes, I do check my phone in the middle. Why? Because people be texting me questions and doing different stuff. I think my website just crashed. All right, I save it if it did crash. If you own, hold on. If my website crashed, that's a good thing, but that's not a good thing. All right, I'm gonna finish it up. I'm gonna record it and then go back. So now, ineffective uses of tools and manipulatives. Think about when we think about ineffective ways. I'm gonna list a couple. When you don't make the connection between the model and the concept, it's great that they're modeling it, but also they got to make a connection to the concept. So we don't want them just getting answers, but can they make a connection when using manipulatives? Another one, ineffective way. When the teacher says, do as I do, oh my gosh, everybody argues with me. Chris, I have to spend a day showing them how to use the manipulatives. Are you serious? Give them a chance to explore. Like, give kids a chance to explore and do some sense making. We don't always have to show them first. And a lot of times we show them wrong, but I ain't say that. Our goal is to promote thinking. We want students to focus on patterns and then that make sense of the processes. But we want to, again, I'm not saying let students go off on the deep end with it when I let them explore, but in the same token, I want to provide them some guidance, but it's not, here's a phone. Here is how to turn on the phone. Okay, turn it on. Turn it off. Good job. Kiss your brain. What we want to do with manipulatives is guide them with it. Because I guarantee you, my kids have been having, they got iPhones, iPads, computers. My kids got all this stuff. I didn't show them ever how to use an iPad or iPhone. Ever. My daughter, she's 4 now, has her own phone. She answers calls, FaceTime, and no one ever showed her. She just figured it out. So it's intuitive giving students those opportunities. Now, when it comes to technology tools and manipulatives, I said it's one way. All right, I showed you all some technology earlier with Desmos. When it comes to using manipulatives, I only time I like virtual manipulatives, if a student has a physical disability and electronics may be better. That's it. That's the only time. Other than that, students need that physical experience. So if a student does have a disability, I'm like, cool. But start them off with that physical. Later, you can get in that virtual. I don't want to say crap, but I say crap a lot. But I really want them to start off on using that virtual piece, or not the virtual piece, that physical piece, to really get them involved and engage in it. Okay. So something to think about. If they have a disability, see, this is where you unlock the power of technology when students have disability or something like that. But every student should have access to physical manipulatives. So think about what are you doing in your educational environment to ensure that occurs. And I know some people, Chris, well, they have iPads, they manipulate. I agree that students can do it on iPad. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying, think about how students learn. Touchy-feely, draw a picture, write it down. That's how they learn. So now, when we just, for the concrete stage, don't let them, I'm a technology guru. Like, you're looking at iPads. I got technology all in this room. Like, if I plug up all my technology, the power will come call me right now. But I want to be strategic in how I use this technology, okay? All right, we're towards the end of the show. Quick shout out to the Inspiring Educators Podcast. Make sure you check us out. We post bi-weekly. We got a new episode dropping tomorrow. And we're talking about the virus tomorrow. It's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. I was on it. So shout out to Jadrian, shout out to Lila, and then shout out to your boy. Today's spotlight, Dr. Hillary. Hold on. All right, so you all will know I love to make sure I say names right, and she texts me how to say her name right. I got it. Dr. Hillary Kreisberg. Yeah. Dr. Hillary Kreisberg. She gonna kill me if this is wrong. Hold on. We had a big to-do. I was like, show me the phonetic spelling. Hold on. Oh, I did. Dr. Hillary Kreisberg. All right, if I said it wrong, Dr. Hillary, don't kill me. Anyway, she's our spotlight. Her focus areas are mathematics education, curriculum development, educational policy. Check her out on Twitter. She has a book out, Adding Parents to the Equation. It's on my bookshelf. I probably should have pulled it out. But she has a book out, and she had a co-author on Matthew. Great book. Check it out, because we're always trying to involve parents. It's a great book to involve parents. But Dr. Hillary, check her out. Check her out. I'll just make sure I spell the name wrong. Right. All right. I'm working on the pronunciation. I promise. I think I said it right, though. Don't worry. She'll let me know if I said it wrong. Anyway, question of the day. What is your favorite math tool? Oh, before we get into what is your favorite math tool, I should have had a slide that said when to use math tools. When to use math tools as much as possible. That's kind of cool. Why do we want to use math tools as much as possible? Reason being, we want students to engage and make sense of mathematics. We're not trying to make math frustrating and hard. We're trying to engage students in mathematics, make it fun, make it exciting, et cetera, et cetera. So we want students using math tools as much as possible. Something to think about if you have an environment with math tools in it. When you use them as much as possible, if students use math tools Monday through Thursday, and they take a test on Friday and they are not allowed to use them and they don't do well, guess what? It's not the students, the fact they didn't have access to the tool. So you want students to use tools as much as possible, especially in kids will always have this. Like every episode, I'm probably gonna show off these phones. Always. With students always having the latest and greatest devices, it is imperative to us that we learn how to engage students in these devices. Thus, don't go along the road. They won't have, I know some people are arguing, well, Chris, when they take the test, they won't have it on the test. Guess what? Are you preparing students for life or are you preparing students for a test? It's a difference. I'm just saying. That's tweetable. Are you preparing students for life or are you preparing them for a test? If you teach to align your content to the standards, I can even say teach to the standards, you're going to be fine. There's a difference teaching to the standard than teaching to the test. All right? Now, so use them as much as possible. I kid you not. If I come into classroom environments and I see no math tools being used, I give kids the math tools. I'm like, all right, man, check it out, use it. Teacher's like, why you do that? I'm like, they struggling, so we're not gonna give them a tool. Like, I got a video on YouTube. I'm logging into something. I got some math questions for the next episode. I got a video on YouTube called Math Tools. Get out your tool belt. Get out your tool belt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the video called Math Tools where I go in depth with this particular subject. All right. So what is your favorite math tool and why? What is your favorite math tool and why? And if you're just catching on this episode, I used hand sanitizer earlier, so guess what? My face clean. Yeah, real clean. What is your favorite math tool and why? Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Just tell me what, hey, favorite math tool, hashtag math tool, hashtag, at me. Don't hashtag me. Yeah, hashtag math tool. Then what is your favorite tool and why? Just because we want to get an ecosystem more math tools, let's connect. You can reach me on all social media platforms, the ones that have been invented and the ones that have not been invented. In addition, I get emails. Like right now, it's kind of slow time, so I'm actually responding to emails rather quickly. There's been times it take me 2 weeks to get. Oh man, there's an email I haven't responded to. All right, there are times I get a 2-week backlog, but right now I'm at like about a 3-day backlog, which is pretty good for me. But that person for 2 weeks ago. All right, I'm gonna email them back. I'm gonna do it after this. You can hit me up, let me know how I can support you and what you do. And most importantly, are you cultivating your students to become problem solvers or rule followers? Oh, finally, cool. Got somebody in the chat box at the bottom. I was wondering like if the chat box is working because nobody was chatting anything down there. Favorite tools, algebra tiles. I love algebra tiles. The reason I keep looking on my shoulder when I get excited about math tools, that's before I transition into this place, office space, that's what my math tools were. So they're not there no more. I'm gonna bring them back. Yeah, I gotta bring them back. But yeah, I love algebra tiles. I love algebra tiles. Shout out algebra tiles. Hey, lastly, think about it. Are you cultivating your students to become problem solvers or rule followers? That's big. Because if you think about right now what's going on with this whole pandemic, it's getting crazy. And a lot of people don't know what to do. And they're showing a lot of math that some of the math these media outlets showing not even right. But people don't even know. If I get one more group message about something that's happening from, oh my God, I don't even want to read them. They just embarrassing. So we got to get together with this developing problem solvers to let our students understand and make sense of mathematics. This is showing you we got to tighten up in the math there, bro. All right, this has been your boy, Dr. Christopher J. Childs. So that is the Math Tools episode. If you want to log off, that's fine. You can like leave me. I'm gonna be sad. But if you're hanging out with me, I just found it.